Hey, what's up? Today I've got some Superman customs. So the five here, obviously. Um, I guess you could say four villains and one, main Superman. Might not be the one you expect. Let's just go one by one. So first up, here's Atomic Skull. He's a Superman villain. I think he's just got a cool design, you know, I tried making like a purist version, but I didn't have the right colored pieces, so I just decided to make a full-on custom. So, you know, not much to say. The armor piece is probably I don't know. It's the flame hair was actually a knockoff Ghost Rider that came in green, so that worked well. The face is a Dr. Phosphorus face. I didn't paint that, and then the armor is like a Lego Batman movie armor piece. It was used for Mr. Freeze and Red Hood, so I painted that, and then just a couple paint details. So yeah, but I think the best part is the head, really. Next up, we got Mongol. You've probably seen him before. He's been in quite a bit of animated things. So he's a big Superman villain. So I just kind of went for a more classic design. His design changes a lot, but the one I went with was somewhat based off the way he looked in the animated Brave and the Bold cartoon. I just kind of like those colors better than some other versions. So I didn't paint the legs. Those are just plain dual molded legs. So for him and Parasite, the main reasons I made them is because I got these new knockoff torsos that are really good for big characters that you don't want to make like full-on big figs, but kind of in between a minifigure and a big fig. The Moose figs use them, a bunch of customizers use them, so I got a couple of these, and I just think it works well for Mongol, and not much to say. Oh, and the face was a knockoff Mongol face, because it just looks better than what I would have painted, so that's that. Next up is actually the main Clark Kent Superman, even though it doesn't really look like it. This is actually from the animated Justice League series, the original 2 seasons, not the second 2 seasons for Justice League Unlimited. This was probably my favorite episode of the original 2 seasons. It was called Hereafter. This is where Superman got transported to the future, and he's like the last human, except him and Vandal Savage. So it's basically a solo Superman episode, and then he has to like survive all on his own. So this is like his final look in the episode. He's got longer hair, which is a custom hair piece that I added a curl to the front. It's kind of hard to see, but he's got the Superman curl at the front, and I think that came out pretty good. And then I painted the beard onto his face. The cape is like a Firestar Toys over cape. I don't know what it's called, but I cut that up. And then his torso is painted. He's got a little pouch on his belt that's painted. And boots and stuff. And so it's not a typical Superman figure, but I liked the episode and I liked the look, so I made him. Next up is Parasite. He's a Superman villain. Pretty much his basic classic design. Like I mentioned, this is using the knockoff torso body piece. Same as Mongol. So I think it looks good for Parasite. Sometimes he's kind of small, skinny, but a lot of times he's really big, so I think this works well. Painted the body purple, and then painted the white stripes that go around the body and legs. And then his head is actually a Thanos head that I erased the mouth and repainted with, like, you know, the big monster mouth. So I think this looks pretty good. And then finally we have a version of Superman, but it's not actually the main Superman. It's a future alternate Superman, and that's just Connor Kent, Superboy, but an evil version from him in the future when he becomes Superman. I think it's the only version where he actually becomes Superman. But yeah, I like Connor Kent, so I kind of like his design as Superman. And, you know, this is a really simple one. Just a widow's hairpiece that I sanded off the widow's beak. And then the torso is just a Superman torso with the yellow in the symbol repainted black. And then the red belt instead of the yellow belt. And then obviously the red boots. So that's about it. Let me know which one is your favorite. You know, not a lot of people make Superman customs, so I just thought it'd be cool to make some of the villains, and here they are. So let me know which one's your favorite, and I'll see you guys next time.